Okay, you guys, here we are live. I'm Sandra Cohn. I'm here at my studio in my office, and I still have my earbuds in. I wear these when I work out, and then I forget that I have them in because they just become part of my life, and I'll end up wearing them all day. I forgot I had them in. So, okay, you guys. We are popping on here today, or I am popping on here today, and hopefully this will become a way and some people will be able to join me, because a couple days ago I posted a thread about how share your blog link and then go in and comment on people's blogs to just help each other and talk, help each other's SEO. And a conversation got started where people were like, hey, I'm freaking out about SEO. I don't think I'm doing it right. Do you have any tips or tricks? So I was going to go in and write a big long blog post, and then I was going to do a YouTube video, and I still may. But I thought, you know what, let's just have a quick conversation about this now on Facebook Live. It's a great place to start. So that is going to be our topic for the day. And yeah, so as you are, logging in, I see some people are joining us live. If you could please just take a second to give me a shout out, say hello, give me a thumbs up or something so that I know you can hear me okay and everything's working. That would be helpful. And then I'll go into it, because nothing is worse than, launching into this whole thing and talking, and then like 10 minutes in have someone say, oh, we can't hear you, which has happened to me before. And then I have to start the whole Facebook Live over, and it's all this time. So you guys, as you join, can you hear me okay? All right, Alex here. Everything's working? Okay, well then let's just go ahead and do this. So, SEO, and SEO in particular, thanks for the thumbs up. SEO in particular, when you're talking about blogging and how to do it. So first of all, just let me say this. Like everything, the rules change all the time. I mean, that's just the fact of marketing these days, that if you're going to be marketing on social media, you have to stay informed and stay up to date on the algorithms and the changes and the rules and all that. Well, that applies to SEO too. So some background on me. I've been in business for 18 years, and that's a long time. So that means that I was really starting in like 1999, 2000. And that makes me sound like 1,000 years old. But when I got started, it wasn't even a thing to have a website or anything like that. There was certainly no Instagram, no Facebook, and all of that. So it was like by 2003, it was clear that I needed to have a website, that was going to be a thing. So I started there, and then started blogging. So I feel like in some ways I'm 1,000 years old. Sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. That some ways I'm 1,000 years old, but some ways that gives me like some really great perspective, because I have been, blogging and doing this for a very, very long time. So when I first got started with blogging, when everybody was blogging, the rules were, I just came from the gym. The rules were, you have to blog all the time, and what everybody was doing back then was sharing client work, talking about, not even really talking. A lot of people were just sharing pictures and sharing client work. And at that time, that worked really great, because there was this golden age of blogging where people would have things like Google Reader or whatever. I used to do this. And it was a way where you would just like keep a list of all the blogs that you followed, and you'd go in there and follow blogs. Well, then social media came along and kind of took the place of that. Now, if people want to go and just look at someone's pretty pictures, they're going to go to Instagram. They're not going to go to your blog. And all of this has an endpoint, you guys. We're going to get to SEO. So that's kind of how it's progressed. But what I've seen has happened is that photographers haven't evolved their blogging techniques to keep up with how clients are using blogs, and also how the algorithms are using blogs. So the number one mistake I see people making with blogging is that Alex says, I miss Google Reader. Me too. Wasn't that like super helpful and fun? Anyway, so people are still doing this kind of old way of blogging where they're using their blog as an extension of their portfolio instead of what it should be used for, which is a place to generate really good content and content marketing for your clients. So when people are using it just for a portfolio, it kind of looks like I used to do in the old school, where you just throw up a few pictures or maybe 10 pictures, a pretty collage from a session, and say, oh my gosh, wasn't this session adorable? We had the most fun, and you know, look at my pictures. You guys, if that's how you're writing your blogs, no one's gonna come back and do that. Your clients don't want to look at that. Other people aren't going to look at that. And most importantly, it's not going to be picked up on the search engines for SEO or anything like that, because you're not giving any valuable content that Google or any of the search engines is going to look at and say, oh, this is really good information. I should connect you with these people who are searching for just that. That's what Google is always trying to do. It's always trying to take your content and connect it with people who are looking for it. 1 second. Okay, I keep thinking it's the mailman because my door to my studio is right over there and it has a little mail slot, but it turns out it's just these little kids waiting for the bus that they're playing. So we're going to ignore them. I'm not going to be distracted. Are you guys with me so far? Is this too rambly? Can I get like a hands up? You see where I'm going with this? Can you hear them playing with my mail slot? Oh, here it comes again. I might have to go over and tell them to knock it off. Is this making sense, you guys? You're with me? All right. So we've established that the rules of blogging have changed. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, good. So when people were old school blogging, right? Like doing this, I'm just going to use my blog as my portfolio. The old rules of blogging and using it for SEO were keyword stuffing. So what people would say is that, you know, you go in behind your pictures and you just load up every keyword you can possibly think of and put it behind your picture. And then in your blog post, make sure you're hitting all your keywords. And so it actually would end up in these kind of awkward blog posts, which I know we have all read. And it would be like something like, the title would be Seattle newborn photographer. And then the blog post, because people are trying to hit all those keywords and stuff, the keywords would be like, isn't this family that came into my Seattle photography studio the most adorable? That is why I love being a Seattle photographer. You know, stuff like that. Raise your hand. Have we all seen blog posts like that? I've certainly read a lot, especially when I was running Little Bellows and reading other people's blog posts all the time because of submissions. Don't do that. That is an old school way of blogging, and it's not going to do anything to help your SEO. Actually, now there's a lot of things that Google doesn't want to see. They don't want to see keyword stuffing and stuff like that. You would get penalized. Now it's all about actually creating really good content, and instead of keywords and keyword stuffing, what you're really going to concentrate on content that makes sense, that your clients want to know about and read, and then instead of keyword stuffing, you use keyword phrases. So keyword phrases in a blog post that are going to be picked up by SEO are more along the lines of things that people are actually searching for. So example, you could say, you know, five ways to prepare for your newborn session. That's probably something that somebody's legitimately going to be searching for. That's something that they want to know. People aren't on the internet nowadays just to look at pretty pictures. People are on the internet to get information and learn. So you should be creating blog posts that are helping your clients get information and learn, right? And then you put those, you start thinking like your clients, and you change your blog titles into actual phrases that people are searching. Then your blog post would have, you know, body in it. Like, so if your text or your title is 5 ways to get ready for your newborn session, your post then can read like a normal person, and instead of just blog word stuffing, say something like, So, one of the questions I get asked all the time is, how do I prepare for my newborn session? So in this blog post, I'm going to share 5 of my favorite tips to help you prepare so that when you come in, you have the best session you can possibly have. Something like that. It reads nice and normal. It has that really good keyword phrase. And once you put in enough text, it's going to give Google actual real life information that their analytics are going to be able to pick up on and match with people who are searching that. All right. So I wanted to get into this because a lot of the questions that I was seeing in the post yesterday that people were asking about alt text and keywords and all of that stuff. And it can get, there's all of that stuff I think sometimes can get in the way with how we should actually be using our blogs, and that is to create and generate content marketing. And creating content marketing is going to be good for your clients, and it's going to be good for SEO. So I guess what I'm saying to you is, if you are on a platform, if you are maybe using Yoast, to help you make sure you're hitting all your blog points, and it's asking you to get, put in more keywords, put in more alt text, put in all that kind of stuff, I kind of think worry less about that and worry more about creating good content that is going to connect to your people. For real. I've been number 1 or number 2, definitely on the first page of Google, you guys, for years. This is how I grew my business, and this is how I did it. Now, that said, of course, when you put in a photo or a few photos, you want to go in and put in metadata behind it that has to do with the content you're writing about. So let's say you're saying 5 ways to prepare for your newborn session, and then you have a photo, that represents each of the points, right? Well, then behind your photo, then of course you go in and you say, Seattle newborn photographer Sandra Cohn shares 5 tips for how to prepare for your newborn session. And you put that in as the metadata in your photo so that, again, Google can read that. And if you really want to take it up a notch, you can then go on and describe your photo. Like, Sandra Cohn, 5 tips for blah, 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 whatever I just said, and then whatever that image is. Like mom with newborn baby, snuggling up or whatever. So you can tell I just came from the gym and I'm totally like amped. I'm like working out and coffee because that was a lot. But that's really my tip. Now, at the beginning of this year, I was getting so many questions about this coming through in my other Facebook group, A Place for Family Photographers, where people were saying, okay, listen, I hear you, Sandra Cohn. I know you're always talking about content marketing. I know you're always talking about creating good content for your blog posts and how it's going to help SEO and why you should be using it in your newsletters. We didn't even get into that in this Facebook Live. But I don't know what to talk about. Does anybody have that problem? I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to say. Well, you guys, I started hearing this so much that I began what originally was going to be a blog post about it with an opt-in. And as I was writing out this opt-in to give to people on how to create content, it ended up being like 17 pages long. And I was like, I can't put that on a blog post. So I actually turned it into a little workshop that has 5 videos that walk you through how I create content. And what I do is I sit down and I map out my content topics for an entire year. And I blog once a week, so I map all that out. So listen, I didn't come on here to sell you anything, but I do have that available, and I just put it on sale again this morning. So if you are interested in looking at that piece of content or to help you with any of that, I'm happy to link it here. Again, it's a workshop that walks you through content creation. I talk about how to use that content, and then I show you how I map out my content for the year. Happy to share that. But really the takeaway of this little Facebook Live here is, yes, you should be blogging. It is 100% still important for your clients, for your business, but you have to be thinking about it in terms of, hey, it's 2018. It is no longer 2000 and 9. So you need to make sure that your blogging strategies are up to date. Always think about your client. What do they want? What do they need to know? How can you educate them? How can you help them? And those are the things that you blog about, all right? And if you're creating really good content, you want at least 100 words in each blog post. If you're creating really, really good content that is speaking to those points, your SEO is going to shoot through the roof. And I know this because I teach an entire module on blogging in the Business Like a Lady Boss workshop. We did a whole module, and the number one comment that we get all the time is how people who have taken that class have gone from page 7 on Google to like page 1 in honestly a matter of months. This stuff works, you guys. Oh, and I should say, again, I'm not on here to sell you anything. Elena and I are completely redoing all the Lady Boss Workshop classes. I know we've talked about that before. And we keep saying that we're going to discontinue Business Like a Lady Boss. We're going to take it off the shelves. And then we get flooded with email from people saying, please don't do it yet because I've been saving up and I want to take it. But you guys, it's actually happening. I was going to write an email about it this week. This is absolutely the last week to get that workshop. It's a really good workshop. It's jam full of so much stuff. We just really poured our heart and soul into it. So I will link to that too if you guys are interested. Okay? So that was a lot of information that I just threw at you. I don't even know how long I've been talking, like 15 minutes. While you guys are here and I am here, does anybody have any questions about all of this, about blogging, SEO, all of that kind of stuff? Content creation, what you should be talking about. I'll wait for one moment. Sometimes there's a delay. You don't have to have any questions. That's fine too. All right, well, it's looking pretty quiet on the question front. So I'll just log off. Because guess what I'm going to do? Go write a blog post. See? Yeah. Oh, and I've also started a YouTube channel where I am doing like video vlogging that is going to answer a lot of these questions too. And Elena and I are going to start one too. So we've got big plans for you guys. It's going to be fun. Amanda, what do you use for your alternative text? Are you talking like behind your images, Amanda? I guess I need a little more information into that question. I'll wait for you to answer. Yes. Yeah. So Amanda actually just talked to that just a second ago about how when you are, so go back, watch this live again, but really when you're adding in photos, you want to talk about, the title of the blog post, who you are, where you are, and then you describe the photo. That's what you do. But go back, and I don't, you must have missed the beginning, but go back and listen to my rant at the beginning of this live. What you don't want to be doing is just going in and keyword stuffing anymore. That's old SEO techniques. You don't want to do that anymore. Okay? Hope that's helpful. Any other questions, guys? Right, it looks like it's slowing down. Okay, so like I said, I will go ahead and I will link all this information, the information on Business Like a Lady Boss, on the content creation workshop, and what else did I say I was going to link? I think that's it. Can't remember. But if you have any questions about this, if you're watching the replay and you're like, she didn't answer my question, I wanted to ask this question, you can always just tag me in a comment and I'll check it out. All right? Okay, you guys. Well, I hope everybody has a great Friday. Go out and write some really good content-rich blog posts. And, yeah, have a good day. I'm going to get to it. All right, bye, you guys.